Thank you, Power to Fly, for hosting this awesome conversation, Sarah. I'm excited to have these next 30 minutes to just dive in deep here. And I just want to start off by saying your story already is fascinating. Just from reading what is available online. I just love to pass the mic back to you to just ask you a little bit more about yourself. Anything more that you want to share about your journey, and then we'll roll right into some thoughtful questions for the next 30 minutes.
Amazing. Bruno, thank you so much. And thank you, Mariela and Power to Fly, for having us and let us share the story and the work that we do at StartOut. No, Meg was really good. My name is Sarah Burgaud, pronouns she, her. I lead programs at Mentorship at StartOut. I've been with the organization for over 3 years now. And as she mentioned, I've been in the social impact space for 10 years after transitioning from finance and investment banking, I guess. I spent I think 2 years in my 20s in India, where I got to experience both microfinance and investment banking. And I think this is one of the reasons why I'm here, trying to build a more inclusive and sustainable economy. So very excited to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you, and feel free to share more about your journey as we roll into the next question lineup here. But can you tell us a little bit more about StartOut's mission and how the organization came to be?
Sure. So StartOut is actually a national nonprofit organization. Our mission is pretty simple, is to increase the number, diversity, and impact of LGBTQ founders. We really try to level the playing field for any entrepreneur to get a seat at the table, and we focus on queer founders and the economic empowerment of the queer community. I am a proud member of the queer community. I am also an immigrant. I'm sure you can hear I'm French, so it's really dear to my heart to make sure that everyone get a seat at the table. StartOut was actually funded 11 years ago, so we've been around for a minute. And the idea there was really to create a safe space for LGBTQ founders. I think the three main challenges we tried to focus on was create the lack of safe space and safe community. At the time, there was not really any space for queer founders to meet with one another. There was also a lack of access, I would say, to business network and entrepreneurship resources for people that were not living in the big tech ecosystem in cities, and for people at every stage. There was something for people that already had traction. And the last piece is there was definitely a lack of role models and success stories about queer founders that made it and became successful. So that's really how StartOut was funded at the time. Today, we've moved from an event-based organization to more like an accelerator type of organization. And so we've built a community of 17,000 members, and we provide direct support to 300 to 400 founders every year. And yeah, that's a little bit about how we got started and why we're still here today.
Wow, fascinating, and congratulations. Something that I find hopeful is that more and more, queer-friendly, safe spaces are being presented and being, occupied and practicing what they preach there. We definitely have a lot of room to grow, but I love that your initiative is, highlighting that, we have not had safe space, physical safe space, and digital safe space. That's a whole nother ball game. So how can we really, make an impact there? So StartOut offers a number of community resources, and it's so fascinating that you have built your community to be, this really, integral, high number of folks who have grown with you all over the years. Can you tell us a bit more about these community resource programs or initiatives that you have there?
Sure, absolutely. I think, yeah, we try to have different type of resources for different type of stakeholders, but we've really tried to provide an online community and safe space for people to connect with each other, and also make sure to organize events. So that's really the community resources, is the online community and platform and those events. And the idea here is really making sure that people can connect with each other, can find like-minded professionals, like-minded funders, and can really connect with each other in a way that we are just a facilitator and people find what they need. So we organize around 50 to 60 events every year. It used to be in person, now it has moved to virtual, but actually it's providing more accessibility for a lot of folks. So those events are 100% free. They provide a lot of educational content on how to start a company, grow a company, how to be more intentional in being diverse as a founder. And on top of that, we have this online platform where people can connect with each other, find each other. It's like a LinkedIn for the queer community, if you have to put it simply. And so, yeah, all those community resources are free. People just need to go to startout.org, sign up, and can really find experts, mentors, and other like-minded people to connect with.
I love that you all are holding on to the visibility piece, because I can speak as a person that identifies as queer. I'm a woman. I'm a Black woman. I'm from the States, living in another country, so I have this other kind of global displacement thing happening where I'm having to learn a lot of things about myself and my ancestry and my culture and blah blah blah. And I find that historically speaking, of course, I have not seen people like me represented in marketing efforts, or saying that you can do this too. You can be a founder, for example, or you can be, the lead actor in this movie, or you can be, whatever part of the community you want to be. Usually, of course, historically speaking, it has been one kind or, two kinds of people. So I love that you are highlighting, this visibility piece and showing. My question is, as things have transitioned, to be more virtual now because of the pandemic, what are just some things that you have found to be challenging during this time, and also rewarding? So can you talk about some of the challenges, because you all used to do in-person events throughout the year, now you have to do them virtually right now. What are some of the challenges you face, specifically speaking to the queer community, and what are some of the the gifts that have been that have blossomed because of this pandemic as well?
True. This is a great question, actually. I think we try to do two things, right? Provide community and also provide resources and direct support. And so we've been really lucky that we've had like a program delivery that was already set up virtually, so we can provide mentorship, expert office hours virtually. So that was an easy change because it was already set up, but definitely we were organizing in-person events. And so we had to switch totally and go to virtual event. And I think it's two things. The challenge is that people need and want the community. They are happy to get expert session on marketing and on fundraising, but they were, and I think even more than ever last year, everyone was looking for a supportive, inclusive community and for the peer-to-peer connection. They love connect with investors and mentors, but they also want to talk to other funders. And so everyone being like at home was very difficult. So there was definitely a challenge. And also we had to deal with way more demand from new funders reaching out to us because of COVID and how it was impacting their business. So we just had to just do more with a little bit of the same. But it was a good reminder that actually it is key to build that very inclusive and welcoming community. So we moved to virtual events, and we actually organized more than 80 events last year, which is a record. We've never done that many events. It's been pretty awesome. And we moved, some of them were not about the educational content and how to launch a PR campaign or something. It was really about meeting with each other and being in the same space and talking about the challenges and the difficulties of being at home and alone and not having space to share that. So it actually, was a really positive experience in a sense that it brought back that key community component of what we do. And it also made it more accessible for a lot of people that were not living in the 10 chapter city where we were organizing those events. We got a lot of feedback from funders in the middle of the country that were super happy to be able to attend those events. And we record them, we put it on YouTube for free. People can watch it later on. So it was actually an added value. And we also got pretty amazing panel of speakers from all over the country that we would have never managed to put in the same room before. So actually, there was a lot of positive externalities due to COVID, but it has definitely been a challenging year for most of our members that still actually are struggling with the consequences of COVID-19 and how it is impacting their business in a lot of industries, for sure.
Of course, of course. And thank you for, bringing that reality back to the forefront that I mean, this is a work in progress. I love that you're saying, we do what we have, we do what we can with what we have, unfortunately, when things happen, like when the world is on fire, you can't just get immediate access to resources immediately, but what can you do to make sure that your public is getting what they need and is getting nourished? So I appreciate that integrity there. So I know we got some live listeners curious about joining. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Founders Program scholarships and how people can apply?
Totally. So beyond like the free community resources that we have for everyone that want to join and anyone that is interested in learning more, we have dedicated funder program for queer founders that are running their business or about to start their business. The way it works is that we are a really good fit for any LGBTQ founder from anywhere. We still have 90% of our members that are North American based, but it's really accessible. It's virtual, so people can join from anywhere. We are also industry agnostic. So as long as you are queer and you start a good company, you are a good fit. We are definitely best suited for growth and scalable businesses, but you can join and you'll find some resources. And in terms of maturity stage, we start at idea stage all the way to series A or B. So that's kind of the people that we serve. For those people, we do provide direct support through like three main resources. Mentorship is a big part of what we do. Expert office hours, people can get one-on-one session with experts on marketing, fundraising, PR, whatever they need when they join. And we also connect funders that are actively fundraising with a community of investors. We work with around 300 plus accredited investors that are passionate about diversity, wants to support underserved funders. So that's what we provide. And if people are interested, it's pretty simple. They can see us and join us at www.startout.org. There is a funder application. Applications are open all year long. We accept people on an ongoing basis, and we do have full scholarship. As a nonprofit organization, if people can afford, they can become a giving member and give as little as $5 a month to start out. But we know it's still like a problem for a lot of funders that cannot access it. So we have full scholarship thanks to our sponsors and partners so that anyone really can access it. So if you are looking for extra support to grow and you're looking for an inclusive queer community to support your growth, like please reach out, come to us. We'll be very, very happy to support and see how we can best help you grow your business, basically.
Beautiful. And I just finished moderating a conversation about allyship. So you did speak about, thanks to your sponsors. If someone is interested in sponsoring, some of the things that you have going on, how can they reach out, to put this into practice, this allyship, this advocacy for those who are privileged enough to, use that financial backup or to use, the branding that they have, acquired or built over years. If someone is interested in sponsoring, how can they reach out to you all?
I love it. I think very simple. There is a big donate button on our website, but also feel free to reach out to info@startout.org. We are nonprofit. We love the love and the support. And again, we try to make it affordable for the funders. So appreciate any support and any help. And we have also a really big community of volunteers. So if people cannot give money, like if they want to give their time, we really love that people are supporting us in various ways, depending on what they can. So thank you for that.
Yeah, of course, of course. I want to help people, put things into motion, practice what they preach. I know folks are like, how can I be an ally? How can I continue to advocate? So can you speak a little bit more about mentorship and allyship? I would love to hear more about the mentorship program that you all offer and just your personal opinion on allyship and advocacy.
No, I love that. Mentorship is one of the most successful programs we run. We've been running it for 5 years. It's pretty basic, not basic, but like traditional mentorship program. It's a 6 month program. We manually match every funder with a mentor based on their needs and based on the interests of the mentors. I think to date, we've matched 750 funders with mentors. Since we started, and we still have a 98% satisfaction rate from participants. So it's definitely huge way to give back and to support the community, becoming a mentor. We work with an amazing community of 400 plus volunteers that are either experienced professional or experienced founder themselves and want to support first-time entrepreneurs, but also serial founders that need really specific, I don't know, industry expertise or functional expertise. So I think there is space for anyone that wants to, share their expertise and their time to really give back. We do support only queer founders, but we have mentors that are ally and that are not queer that want to provide some support. So really anyone is welcome to join. I feel this is one of the most powerful things that we do. Peer-to-peer support and peer-to-peer connection is really key. A lot of first-time funders can really benefit from hearing from people that have even just like 2 years of experience running their company. So this is a really powerful way to support the funders that we have in our community for sure.
I love that. So fascinating to hear, but not surprising that the mentorship program is, one of the most successful. I love mentoring folks. I love to receive, mentorship from folks who, have their foot in the door or just have more knowledge to drop. I think that is definitely one way that we can share knowledge. So what about sponsorship? Because I know that some folks have just some curiosities about, do I mentor or do I sponsor? Do you all have space for sponsorships as well? And just what's your opinion on mentorship versus sponsorship in this context?
I would say if you can do both, you should totally do both. I think a lot of the sponsors and long-term supporters we've been working with and partners, they have been trying to do both if they can. Like we have a lot of our partners that are investment firms or VC firms or legal firm, and they try to do both. They provide financial support because they can, and we are nonprofit, but also they have a lot of employee engagement, and a lot of their employees have a specific functional expertise they have. Either it can be legal or it can be helping people with their fundraising pitch. And I think really, again, everyone is kind of have something to share, some experience that is really valuable, some skills. And the fact that we manually match people, I think is key here. Like we really have to spend some time making sure that people are a good match for each other. Now it is Pride. And I think this is a good time for a lot of people to just support LGBTQ founders and try to see what they can do. When people leverage what is their core expertise or what they do every day, I think this is powerful. This is very, very powerful because that's what they are experts at. And that's usually what our funders will need. So yeah, mentorship definitely is at the core of what we do. It comes with sponsorship and financial support. This is great, but mentorship is definitely one of the key for us.
Great. Thank you for that, Sarah. We do have a message here from one of our live viewers, Cindy, who is a transformation coach, writes, what sort of new what sort of new partnerships do you see or want to see at StartOut? So what sorts of new partnerships do you see or want to see at StartOut?
That's a good question. I think, within the LGBTQ community, there is still a lot of disparities of access, depending on who you are. And I think being very intersectional about how we approach what we do and making sure that everyone within the LGBTQ community can thrive and can feel included is really key. So this is not really new, but I think this is something we want to double down on. We've been working, and that's what I do, so I'm going to talk about that, but we've been working with a lot of community partners and leaders that really share the same goal and mission that we have, which is really to accelerate underserved funders, no matter who they are. It can be woman funder, gender non-conforming funder, Black funders, immigrant funders. So really working with other organizations, mission-aligned organizations that really share that belief that we need to build a more inclusive ecosystem has been really at the core of what we've been doing. But last year with the pandemic, we had less time to do that. So I think since the beginning of the year, we've really doubled down on this. And this is the kind of new partnership that I think I would like to see even more. We already work with around 40 community partners that really share that belief that we can move the needle even more, and we've not done enough. But I think those are the additional partnership that we need to keep on, moving forward and bringing up. There is a lot of amazing people that are doing great work to support women founders, to support Latinx founders, and I want to do more of that. And I want to make sure that we do more of that at every level of what we do. So I think this is key. And we really need to just, put all the resources we can to be there.
Beautifully said. Thank you for that, Sarah. So, what would be your number one piece of advice for LGBTQ plus entrepreneurs today? And let's consider the I'm just going to go on a rant a little bit. Let's consider the lack of emotional intelligence that we are all practicing in the world, and especially in the workplace, right? This, lack of empathy, this lack of self-awareness, this lack of social responsibility, and also what is happening, in the digital space. I often say that the digital space is being colonized because we don't see equal, representation of folks building the technology and building the digital spaces that we are, taking part in, essentially. So we don't have those voices and those stories to share to help build that technology. So any advice for LGBTQ plus entrepreneurs, knowing that we have, a lack of emotional intelligence happening in the world and in the workplace, and also that, the digital space is being handled, a little irresponsibly, in my opinion.
True. No, but those are very, very, very good points. I mean, I always feel like funny to give advice to entrepreneurs. I'm not an entrepreneur myself, been working with really small team, but like I think I agree with you. The digital space has not been always very inclusive. At the same time, I would say like a lot of people should not be afraid to just reach out to people and talk to people in the space they are in. I know that there is a lot of founders or professionals that are happy to share their stories and their expertise and how they've been handling specific industry or specific issues that an entrepreneur can face, like fundraising and other things. So I think I would just tell people, please do not hesitate to reach out, and please do not hesitate to update people you have reached out to in the past. Like, if they can help, they will help, and they should not be afraid to reach out. And if people are not responding, what is the worst that can happen? That's the worst. I think I see also a lot of funders like be good at following up. Like I just like, if people are asking questions, they want to know something, follow up. And I think being really conscientious and top of mind, top of things when you do something like this is really good to build long-term relationship with people. That seems pretty simple, but in a lot of in a space when there is so much noise and so many people here and left, I think this is key. And the last piece, more to go back to what you just said, like, yeah, people lack emotional intelligence. I am French, so in France, like I think being queer is not as accepted in the professional space. I've been in the Bay Area for 7 years. I live in San Francisco, and I think being yourself, like just show up the way you want to show up, because some people are looking for that, and if you hide it somewhere, then you're gonna meet the wrong people that do not really want to meet you where you are. So I think being yourself, even if sometimes it is hard, there is still a lot of places that really are not inclusive, but like you're going to meet the people that are looking for you. I think it's something that Alan Hamilton has been saying a lot, like be yourself so that you meet the people that are actually looking for you. And I think personally that's worked in my career. Not saying it's going to work for everyone, but definitely I would say that if you can, and if you have the privilege of being safely out and proud, and that's in the context of being LGBTQ, please be, but whatever your identities are, like if you have the space to be out, like please be out and show who you are, because you're going to meet the people that are looking for you.
Absolutely. I love speaking about visibility and transparency. And of course, a safe space is definitely worth mentioning again, that we need to make sure that we're fostering those safe spaces, that we're nurturing those safe spaces so that folks can be themselves in all contexts, in all areas. We were speaking on a previous panel that even in the grocery store, we can find ways to advocate for each other and to, form more habits of allyship and things like that. Do you have any advice for, let's say, organizations or companies that are really looking to practice inclusivity, but maybe they're afraid? I don't know, they're afraid to lose time. They're afraid to, maybe lose some of their public. There's just kind of this. I find that we're on a precipice here. It's like, do I take that leap, or do I say no? I'm gonna wait until one of the bigger companies does this, and then kind of move on with that energy as well. I don't know if I'm being clear, but what I mean to say is, do you have any advice for companies or organizations that want to practice inclusivity more, but maybe they are afraid, and especially, during this pandemic? Any advice for them?
Great. I mean, this is a big question for sure. I think I would say, if I am being on the safe side, doing nothing is as risky as doing something, to be honest. So you would rather go for the inclusive way and try it out. I think it is okay. I heard on another panel that it's okay. People are going to make mistakes, but not trying, I think, is could be the worst. I think this Pride Month, and so it's usually like an opportunity to celebrate, and there is many reasons to celebrate, but there is also many people that are still struggling, and I think Pride is also an opportunity to remember that it is a privilege to be out and to be proud, and that we need to remember that we need to have those conversations, and difficult conversation. And I think I would encourage anyone that is privileged enough to be out and to be themselves, to have those conversations, difficult conversations with people that do not believe the same. And so really like remembering that to move the needle, we have to fight for people that cannot actually be out and proud. And for the Black and transgender folks that are still fighting for their life, and for people that are still struggling with COVID-19 and the consequences on their business. So we are in a space where there is a lot of reason to celebrate. So please try new things as an organization, as a corporate, and try to be more inclusive. You make mistakes, but not trying is worth. And it's really actually a little bit of criminal at this point. In the US, there is there is a lot of states that are trying to pass anti-LGBTQ bills these days. And so I think trying, and with small things, it can be very small, but at least getting there and getting the bus moving. I don't know if that's an expression, but yeah, I think is key. And I think if we want to be just like, yeah, a little bit, conservative, not actually doing anything is as risky as trying, because at some point people are going to leave, talents are going to leave, people are going to want to be in a more inclusive space, I would say.
Absolutely. Well said. And I know I asked you to dive in deep on a really, really big question there, but you did a great job. Thank you so much, Sarah. So we are at our time. Can you just remind us how we can stay connected with you, how we can support the great work that you're doing? And I look forward to staying connected with you personally when we finish this conversation, Sarah. Thank you.
Amazing. But thank you, Mariola, for the like leading this conversation. This is really exciting, and yeah, I mean exciting to see this. To join StartOut or learn more about what we do, www.startout.org, and people can connect with me on LinkedIn. Again, my name is Sarah Burgaud. I work at StartOut. Very happy to connect with people that want to know more or want to partner.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm definitely going to be supporting, so I hope that our live listeners are as well. Meg, I'm going to pass the mic back to you. Thank you so much.